Welcome back to Get to Know Your Mod Author, episode 15, and this week we've got MikeMoore, and he makes lots of weapons. So go ahead and say hi.
Hey there.
That's about it. That's it. End of the stream.
Short and sweet. Yep.
Done recording. All right, cool. This is the quickest one. I'm just 20-second episode. It'll make up for the 3-hour one last time.
See you later. Subscribe to PewDiePie.
Oh Jesus! Really? I want to shoot myself now. Can we start this over? We're gonna go straight into PewDiePie. Holy crap! Like, I literally just want to take a baseball bat to anybody who actually likes watching him. Like, if that's you, don't let me find you in real life, Mike. I don't understand this. I don't. Wait, how old are you, if you don't mind?
I always forget. 22 on the last day of this month. So I'm 21 right now.
How do you forget when you're 21? Like, isn't that the one you would actually remember and then you start forgetting?
Nah, it's Canada.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. You guys get to start just hammering. That's right. That's why everybody would always head to Canada. And I was in Washington. I lived in Washington for a while. It would just be like, let's go to Canada and get drunk. The fucking. Yeah, okay. You got next. Because I always forget how old I am, but then I'm 30 plus, so it's like my wife has to correct me all the fucking time. Like, people are like, how old are you? I'm like, just pick a number over 30 and roll with it. But
I said I was 23 in one of my videos, and my girlfriend watched it, and she was like, "No, you're not." I was like, "Oh shit, I'm not."
So you gotta pull out your ID and do math. You're like, wait a minute, fucking
1994. Hold on.
I can do this. Anyway, guys, just for Mike makes weapons for Fallout 4. And he said it's pretty much the first game he got into. It's the only mods I see up on yours is for Fallout 4 mods, and that's some pretty good looking weapons. Minus that, I don't like your laser katana sword, even though it's got a lot of downloads. I'm like, meh.
That's my least favorite weapon. I don't know why people fucking download it. I can't stand it.
It's the same thing with like stackable concrete. It's like one of my least favorite mods, even though I have to use it. It's got like 1 billion downloads. It's like fucking users. The mods you love the most are the ones nobody will play. Like,
Yeah,
that's kind of how it works. It's like, I just need to make mods that I hate, and then they'll just get 1 billion downloads.
just make 8 crowbar mods.
With boobs on them. Atomic body, anybody? It's a whole nother story. I think the comments were like, they just look like screenshots of like tits occluding everything else.
Like every single one of MXR's thumbnails. I'm sorry.
I think I still hold the record for MXR. I give him shit about it. The Dalian Aloon in Skyrim, he used a screenshot of them like nude pinning each other to the ground in like some sex lab thing, but just hair covering all the parts. That video screen cap, and that video in particular has his most views, period, out of all of his videos. And I gave him shit about that the other day. I'm like, Dalian Aloon still got you the #1 video of your entire list, bro. So what got you? Yeah, screws coughing. What got you started in this shit? Like, what made you cross the line of insanity and actually start modding?
Originally, I was going to start modding Tale of Two Wastelands. And I started playing Tale of Two Wastelands, and I just wanted to play it, and that was it. But I wanted a house, and there was no decent houses. There's like a railway car, but I wanted to make like something that was out in the water that you could have a teleporter to. And I started learning 3D modeling, and I continued learning 3D modeling, and that lasted forever. And then before you know it, Fallout 4 is coming out in 2 months, so I just gave up. And then Fallout 4 came out and modding, and that was the first time I actually released something.
So, just learning this for hobby, don't care to do it as a profession ever?
I mean, if somebody was to pay me money to make models for their company, I wouldn't argue, but yeah, it's a hobby right now.
I think that's most of us. It's one of those things where it's like, I think a lot of us would like to do our hobby for a living too, and then some people don't. Like I know Ellie wouldn't. She doesn't want to like I know certain people who don't, because then they would turn into a job for them. But I'm like, well, if you love it, it's never really a job.
Yeah, it's just being forced to do it is the issue.
Yeah, I think we'd all work better as freelancers.
Yeah.
Instead of being at EA where they, put collars on you and tase you and make you work 14 hours a day.
We don't talk about it yet.
Incoming EA lawsuit. Fucking... I think Bethesda has them as their like prime model. Let's be like them. They're trying to push for it. The hate from me for Bethesda. Uh,
It's we all hate them, but we all mod their games. Just give
well,
them free money.
it's kind of the we were discussing off air a little bit about let's bring it up here because fuck it, like a rumor about Obsidian making another Fallout game using the same engine and shit, which would be fucking phenomenal. Provided Obsidian still has the same management and writing team. Actually, you should probably.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, that would be like, oh, what the fuckers who did Bioshock? I forgot the name of their stupid company already. But wow, how did I forget the name of their company? Anyway, they broke down to like a 15-man group to kind of plan out their next one. I'm like, well, I hope that included the writers you used.
The important people.
Yeah, everybody else could probably be replaced. I get that you don't want to, you want to keep overhead down, but keep the people who made you the billions, okay? And made amazing.
It's like the guys that make League of Legends. They have like 60 art people and then one programmer, and that's their entire company.
Yeah, no shit. Have you ever tried to like you've seen League of Legends? That you probably don't do much programming. I tried to remake. Well, I didn't try. I actually remade Summoner's Rift in Skyrim, and I was dumbfounded at how fucking easy it was.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
I was beyond dumbfounded.
I actually went to school for programming, but I dropped out because my teachers liked teaching off PowerPoint. So I do know how to program. I just don't because I didn't want to get into it. So
it's yeah, that some of the shit that I've learned is just phenomenal. Like I mean, there's obvious shit in the engine and crap. It's a lot more in depth, and I get yelled at all the time for doing oversimplified code when I work on shit. But yeah. I approach it like I'm a construction worker because I'm a construction worker. And if I can hit it with a hammer and make it work, that's the easiest solution.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is kind of staggering how easy some of this shit is. But no, I do hope that they would make another game for this. Like I think wait, where'd you say it was planned on being? What was the rumor? You know more than I do.
New Orleans. I think they said New Orleans. That's where not Bethesda. That's where Obsidian said they wanted to make another one if they got the chance. So.
Wouldn't it be flooded like post anyway?
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
They built it up before
the
nukes.
Let's get a wall.
There's Trump's down there.
Yeah, this is post-Trump.
There's a giant wall to keep the water out, and all the illegals swimming to New Orleans.
Swimming away from New Orleans.
That's actually a very valid point. You get there and there's literally nobody there because even in post-apocalypse, nobody wants to be in New Orleans. Sorry, anybody listening in New Orleans, you're the Detroit of the South. You know it's true.
1950s though, which is where their culture would be based if they made a Fallout game there. It would be super cool.
See, you bring up something that I hate. I hate the fact that it's so stock 1950s, even though there was 100 years after that.
Yeah, I know. I think it's go on.
Oh, I get the 50s feel, but the fact that they literally make it cheesy retro 50s is kind of... I hate that. Oh, excuse me.
I think it's the idea where their culture and art style stopped progressing after that point, and they just went straight into technology. It's like the steampunk thing, right? Like steampunk games, their culture stops progressing at a certain point, and they just go straight into Steam instead of straight into like electricity power and that kind of thing. So it changes the way everything looks.
All right, I get that.
Retro futuristic.
Speaking of Dishonored, I'm one of the few people who really loved the first game.
My cousin he's played it like 7 times. He loves the game.
Okay, I didn't love it that much.
It's insane.
I love the whole steampunk thing for the video game and how dark it was, and I didn't like the fact that it was one of those. They teased like the multiple endings based on your decisions, but much in the similar vein to Mass Effect, it really didn't fucking matter.
Yeah. And after whatever that DLC was that they released.
Yeah, I never actually played their new ending to Mass Effect. Like I was so pissed after that fucking first one. It uninstalled and never went back on my computer.
I actually didn't mind the end at all. Like I was super okay with the end, but the revamped ending that they made, or the new ending that they made, it was like, okay, spoilers inbound. Instead of a red light or a green light, or a red light or a blue light, you get a green light, and that's it. And then like somebody extra survives, and that's the fucking end. You get some comic book. It's literally a comic book at the end that like plays through what happens afterwards.
but the problems with that ending were more on the execution than the actual story of the ending. Because, well, A, you've got Joker hitting a Mass Effect relay, which is what, out by Jupiter, so it would have taken him like 20 minutes to get there, and you had 5 minutes for the ending. Not to mention, why is Joker running away from the scene of battle? He would be court-martialed and hanged for treason. Not to mention then the people on his ship, so he would have had to landed to pick them up. Then you've got all the Krogan who are, left in your solar system, and they're like 25 years from their nearest planet, so they'd have to start eating humans and shit. Like, what? None of these people share common food biology, so sooner or later their synthesizers run out, and it would just turn to like cannibalism. And I mean, there's a lot of things. Not to mention when the Mass Effects relays were blown out, and like, what was it, Mass Effect 2? Was it where they said that if you blew up a Mass Effect relay, it would take out an entire solar system? So if you chose that ending, you basically killed everybody in the galaxy. See, it wasn't so much the, hey bro, we'd heard you hate synthetics, we made synthetics every 20,000 years to kill you so you don't get killed by synthetics. It was on top of that. Like, I don't know if it was just pushed out. Like, that's just one of those where I'm assuming it was basically just EA screaming at him the whole time to release the game or something.
I think they just wanted to end the series and they just wanted to rush it. And it was like the end of Lost. They just rushed it so people wouldn't be pissed off, or they would be pissed off and they didn't want it to keep going.
I hate that crap. I heard they might be doing another Dead Space. I was gonna say Dead Space is one of those, like, there's certain ones from EA and shit where their games look like they were made by a slave labor programming and modeling group, and then there's other games where they just give free reign, like Dead Space, and it just comes out fucking phenomenal.
I've never played Dead Space.
It's you missed out a little bit, but it's creepy, especially the first one when you don't know.
Actually,
what's all coming.
I own all three. I've just never played them for some reason. So
You're worse than I am.
they just sit there.
I got a few games that I own that I've never played too. They're just like, Doom's gonna
maybe
turn
someday.
into one of those. Fucking. Doom's actually pretty fun, by the way. It's but try to get it to run on a different a different resolution than your monitor's max, and good fucking luck.
That's fine. I'm fine with 1920 by 1080.
Yeah, but I got a 4K and I want to run it 1920 by 1080 so I can stream.
Oh,
When I do that, it starts to flicker and blink and like all this crazy shit happens, and then I try to turn it back to 4K, and then it like does weird shit and then pushes all my crap off. I have to actually literally like turn my computer off and back on, and then it doesn't it changes your resolution. Like if you're in 4K and you tell it to go 1920 by 1080, the game doesn't change to 1920 by 1080. It changes your whole fucking display settings permanent, like until you go back and change them. So it's not like, every game that's been out since 2008 that would just change the game settings while it was, full screen. It literally just changes my entire monitor, and then it manages to push shit into a third monitor, which I don't have. It's like, well, we're just going to throw it all the way off here, and then even when I change my settings back, those windows will stay out in the fucking nowhere of my computer. And I'm like, God damn it, id. Like, what the fuck, Bethesda ZeniMax?
I remember Skyrim. What happens when you minimize it? That's the important question. Does it just break?
Skyrim?
No, Doom. What happens when you minimize Doom?
It works. It actually minimizes.
Oh, well, there's an improvement there at least.
I just remember Skyrim when I tried to play it on 4K, it would like have the level up thing on the bottom right of my screen all the time. Like there was a whole bunch of shit because it was never meant to be in 4K.
Yeah, they didn't actually make it like fade out and disappear. They just store it where you aren't supposed to see things.
I wonder if people who change their field of view. No, probably not, because that's a whole different ballpark. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now, it's kind of odd because there's some things I can't blame them on, but I can because I'm an individual and this is the shit I would do to save myself time, right? I'm not getting paid for this. So there's a lot of things I see that they do and I'm like, oh, that's smart. That was efficient to save time. Then I have to think about it and go, wait a minute. They made like $1 billion.
It's a group of individuals. That's what it is.
Oh,
they're not a team.
They're not a team. Which is, if you've ever cracked open their programming, you would realize how true that was.
It's fairly evident.
Some of their voided out shit is like, don't know why this works, scream at Bob, and then like later you'll have another one like, Bob here, you're a faggot, and it's like, what the fuck, guys? Like, There's, I mean, literally, there was code like that. I think they found some in this one too, but there's ones in Skyrim where they're like, no idea why this works. So and so must have been an idiot or something, and then they just like void out the whole thing but leave it. Like,
Yeah.
why did you guys leave this? It's kind of like I want to put notes in all of mine about how I hate people. I don't know. Did you get Far
Yeah.
Harbor yet?
Yeah, I own the season pass, so I'm getting them as they come out, and I haven't played it yet though.
I haven't. I'm still debating whether or not I want to overpay for the season pass because I haven't gotten any of the expansions.
I got it when it was $40, so
Yeah, you got lucky.
yeah.
I
I also
see.
had $40 of PayPal donations in my PayPal account.
There you
So
go.
I was like, yeah, perfect. And I haven't gotten any cents, so that's okay.
That's kind of how it goes. It's a little weird. The
Yeah.
like sometimes it's like it rains, it pours. Like hot files definitely has something to do with it, but
Yeah.
people don't believe me, and I'm like, it's not even like you get a 10% endorsement rate. Like that's the general endorsement rate,
Right.
and out of those 10%, you'll maybe get like a quarter of a percent of those people who actually download or excuse me, donate. So I mean, you could see a million downloads and have less than 20 donations.
Yeah.
That's how cheap people are. It's just phenomenal to me. Which I mean, it brings me to the whole paid modding thing. It's like that's why they rail against it. Is clearly nobody actually wants to. I mean, nobody. There's a lot of people who put their money where their mouth is, but compared to the grand scheme of things, you guys are literally nothing. You're less than 1% that even donates.
We play these because it's free new content. That's the main reason we play mods.
Hmm.
Like even before I started modding, that was why I played modded games like New Vegas. God, so fun.
Free new content.
Yep.
So what's your feeling on paid mod? Would you do it? Would you actually pay for it? Would you give a shit?
I want it to be I want there to be an option where the player can decide what you have to pay, and it can be like a range. So from $0 to $10, you can pay for this mod kind of thing. I don't want like if somebody wants to make it so you have to pay for this mod, that's fine. You can do that. But there should be an option for people like I would
To
personally
do
want
free,
like
but like a donation prompt kind of a thing.
exactly, yeah, like choose what you want to pay for this mod. There's like a slider from $0 to $5 kind of thing. Like that's
Except,
fine with me.
except for we know the majority of them are going to click zero.
Yeah, but I would if
Well,
I was downloading a mod.
No, you're right. The option would. I think they did. I think they kind of did that on Steam, but I think there was a minimum. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it was a zero. I think you actually had to have like a minimum of a quarter or something. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I wasn't. I'm not 100% on that one.
I blotted that whole experience out of my memory, so I don't remember.
Yeah. So did Steam and Bethesda. I hope that
Yeah.
was,
Oh, maybe not Bethesda.
maybe not Bethesda. That's good. They're doing some weird shit right now. Like
Uh,
I don't even know. Like fucking. Well, I mean, they got the. I don't know if you saw the Nvidia contest thing going on for. I don't know if that's a sign of desperation, or like they're. I think it's something up to like $100,000 worth of prizes and shit for mods, but you gotta upload it for PC and console on Bethesda.net, and then basically apply, and it has to fall into one of their categories, and then it looks like the entire thing is rigged because they're like Nvidia employees will decide on the finalists, and then we'll open it up to voting from the public, and then it's like, oh great, titty mods.
yeah, yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
First person who comes out with a pedo follower mod, you're gonna win.
Actually,
Yeah.
we might be okay because I don't think Bethesda wants that kind of stuff on their website. So
Except for the other problem is some of the shit Bethesda doesn't want on their website is some of the shit that like one of their criteria is like no violence toward children. I'm like, God fucking damn it. Like my big quest mod that I'm working on starts with a scene where a child gets murdered because he's a traitor's like a deserter's son, and the lead gunner kills him before she
just
kills
make
the-
it the Pokemon approach. He just faints. It's
faint.
okay.
It just faints.
They don't
I was,
die.
I was thinking of doing it where it's like I'll make like two versions, and then the version I release on like Nexus, it would actually show the kid getting killed and shit, and then like the version for it would just show her like pointing the gun, the camera, and then she'd pull the trigger, the guy would scream, it would never show it. Like do the PG-13 thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, God, but seriously, like it's Disney Wasteland, like fuck.
Yeah. I also love how like they just have to censor everything. It's like you upload a mod description, like I'll copy and paste it from the Nexus, and I'll remove all the fucks and all the shits, and and then like it still says there's bad language, and it's just like stuff I've misspelled on purpose because people comment that stuff all the time, like PS4 please, I want this on PS4, God, and it's just like I'm misspelling those words, and Bethesda's just like these are swear words, you can't put those in. It's like oh.
My favorite was ATM. I was trying to do like at the moment, and it's like I had this entire paragraph thing written out. I'm like, I very carefully didn't put any, I didn't even put crap in there. And it's like, you can't do this. And I'm looking through and I can't figure out what the fuck is wrong. And then I like finally get to it and I'm just backspace ATM and it's like, it lets me publish. And I'm like, oh my God, really? They're literally thinking people are just doing ass to mouth this whole time instead of at the moment. Like, what the fuck? And then they allow CBF. They allow can't be fucked. But no ATM.
My favorite is my one of the weapons I posted was like an energy unarmed weapon, like an energy fist is what I called it. But they don't let you put the word fist in the title. They block fist.
Oh my god! They actually took down my mod for Bethesda.net experience, where basically just every 10 to 45 seconds it tells you that cooks are enabled, and they'll give you a cook, and then Henry Cook starts following you around, and if you don't accept it, it kicks you out of the game. But they took it down, and then like a day later, the admin said they put it back up. I'm like, well, I guess it really doesn't do any content and isn't that problematic. I'm like, Jesus, guys.
They're so indecisive.
Not to mention, you can't download any mods for Xbox yet. They get massive shit tons of ratings. Like Fading uploaded his. Oh, I helped him with his West Tech. He can't. Fading Signal still hasn't been able to log into Bethesda.net from the CK for like a month.
Nice.
Like he can't do it. It won't work on his. Like he can do it from other sites. Like I can do it. I log in on his account just fine and upload his mods. Like he's been trying to work with them. They have no idea what's going on. But he uploads it, and because the first one he uploaded was for PC, all the console fuckers just started giving it 1 star.
I know.
With no downloads. Excuse me. And it's like, and the thing is, I went back and looked at his mods when he finally uploaded the Xbox one. 0 downloads, 2,000 views on each, and like 40-something ratings on each. No downloads. What the fuck, Bethesda?
Yeah, they're. I want to say that the metrics that they put on there are just wrong because I have 0 downloads on a few of them, on a few of my mods, but like there's people that have said like, oh, I can't find this in game. Where does it spawn? Because people do that.
Oh, so they're just not tracking it right.
Yeah, and sometimes it pops up and then it disappears again, and I don't know, Bethesda, it's fine.
Well, you haven't installed the right cookies.
Yeah. This isn't fucking Europe, Bethesda. You don't need to say that.
Oh, and their cookies only last for like 6 minutes, and then it just logs you out, even though you
I know. And then you have to do the fucking age check again. And then you're not allowed to see if you're swearing.
Oh yeah, the age check. The fucking age. I've stopped going on. I'm just like, I can't take this. And then you can only upload a video, 3 things. You can only upload like 3 videos, or like it's gonna be people uploading videos, because how are you gonna showcase your entire mod in 3 pictures for some mods?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's why I do videos. Like even like I make a fire axe. What if I want to see 4 different angles of it? You can't.
Yeah, you can only see 3. You're fucked. People should start uploading like 42K pictures. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they have a limit. They were letting me dump PNGs in there at like 4 or 5 megabytes for a picture, so they might not have a limit to the size, which would be fucking hilarious for consoles. They try to click the image. 5 minutes later,
It fills up their like Xbox hard drive. Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, I don't know if you noticed, mods are already going to do that. Did you notice the compression rate if you've uploaded one for PC and Xbox? It's 3 times the size for Xbox, generally speaking.
What?
They don't use any compression on the BSA archive. Like the BSA has compression rating from 1 to 10. For people who don't know, this is how it worked in Skyrim. I'm not sure exactly how it goes in this one, but the compression rating determines how compressed it is, which means your computer has to work a little bit more to read it. Basically, it has to when it loads up. They don't compress it at all. I uploaded a file. It was 3 megs for fucking PC, and it was 12.8 for Xbox. And Fading's was the same way. His was 40 for PC and 80 something for Xbox.
Oh no.
They're gonna obliterate people's hard drives. Especially the first fucker who uploads like 4K texture, or not even 4K. They're gonna be like, somebody's gonna upload like an 8K overhaul texture, and somebody with a 400 gig hard drive is gonna get filled up.
Yeah.
Bethesda's working with Microsoft to sell the upgraded hard drives. Clearly,
Yeah, that's the only reason there's console mods now.
Jesus.
Sony just tagged along for that's why Sony's a month behind.
Oh yeah.
They're not in on the deal. They're like, no, you have to compress our things.
Well, Sony allows you to pop the hard drives in and out too, doesn't it? I think Xbox is the one where it's like a bitch, like you void your warranty or something if you go in there and pop the hard drive and put a new one in.
Well, the Xbox 360 used to let you use like USB sticks for your hard drive.
That's true.
Obviously, not very efficient, but it works.
The 3.1 speeds are phenomenal though.
Are they?
Oh yeah, the new motherboard I got, that stupid whatever Asus 99 sucker, has like 3.1s in the back.
Oh, cool.
It just fucking, if you have a new, like brand new USB stick, it just rips data from that about as fast as an SSD. It's hilarious.
Up until 6 months ago, I had a computer that could barely run Fallout 4, and it didn't have any USB 3.0 ports, so I didn't even have anything that I could use with that. But I had a USB 3.0 hard drive, like external hard drive. As soon as I got my new computer, it broke, so I can't even use it.
Yeah, I got pretty, like, I really liked this. Like, I didn't notice in the back, but they had basically removed there's no onboard video for this sucker, which is nice. I fucking hate. I don't get why motherboards have onboard video, but not in this day and age anyway. But
yeah, Intel.
It's it has no onboard video. Instead, it's got like 8 extra USB ports in the back. I'm like, literally, the back of this thing is just like a block of USB ports.
That's like, amazing.
Oh, I love this thing. I've got like 6 in the front. I think 15 to 20 in the back. I don't even know. Like,
my God,
many back there. I'm like, shit. I do not need any USB hubs ever. Just extension cables, probably. Oh yeah, it's got I think 12 SATA ports. Like, it was expensive as fuck, but I kind of needed it with getting the well, I got a 2011 i7, so it was like, if you're gonna go all out, you might as well just go big dick with the damn thing. So
yeah,
it was just one of those things. It was like, well, fuck it, I ain't getting a computer upgrade for like 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, that's how you look at it.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. It's gonna run everything right up until the next consoles, more than likely.
Or even after that. Nintendo's releasing a new console soon.
Please tell me it doesn't have like motion stick controllers and crap.
I don't know what they're doing, honestly, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't release a new one because, like, I am a fan of Nintendo, and the Wii U is just starting to like gain some ground. It's just starting to get cool, and people are starting to enjoy it. And they're like, "Oh no, buy a new one." It's like, why? We've had the
You got to make the money.
But yeah, I guess. But like the 3DS has been out for years, and they have no intention of upgrading that. So I don't know.
I don't get it either. I'm waiting for the I'm hoping this console shit dies off pretty soon, or else they make it so consoles have upgradable components in them, because with how hard games are held back because of fucking consoles, it's getting really obnoxious in this day and age.
Yeah.
I mean, you get. Well, I mean, you get.
They're getting there.
Fallout.
They're taking the first steps. They're making things cross-console. So
that's true. I don't know. They're such cash cows though, because
yep,
all the little console plebs will be like, "Well, it's $500. I can get this, and it'll run my shit." No, it runs everything subpar for the next 5 years.
You could buy a $500 computer and get the same effect. So
you could have just saved up and bought like an $800 computer and gotten a better system that would last longer. I mean. Just save your. I mean, and it's not like you don't need to buy the monitor and shit with it. You can just use your TV for a monitor if you want and get the really shitty refresh rate, because that's the other thing they don't tell the console plebs is they have such shit refresh rates.
It's fine. It's fine. They don't know. Their eyes can't see past 30 frames per second.
Yeah, but some of those TVs don't even get that. Actually, I'm not sure. I think the first gen 4Ks might not have got that. Actually, I don't know. There's some people out there like bought 4K TVs that got like the crappiest refresh rate.
Yeah, you can actually see it flashing.
If you can pull out your phone and record your TV and see the frames, you've got an issue. Like, if you see lines going down, guys, you need a new TV.
I mean, I bought my TV from Walmart to play Super Smash Bros. On, so I don't really care.
Jesus Christ. Wait, which Super Smash Bros? Everyone has these Super Smash Bros. I go all the way back to like the GameCube.
I mean, I play Melee on my computer. I have a thing set up so you can play net play online with other people, and I play that all the time with friends. Melee is amazing.
All right, there you go. Old games still better than a lot of new ones.
I mean, Smash 4 sucks. It's fun and it's really pretty, but it sucks as a fighting game.
Yeah, I've kind of been staying away from the consoles because see, it's one point I wanted to get the Nintendo one, but I mean, like I've said in other videos, I have a PlayStation and a fucking Xbox, a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, whatever, that are just sitting on top of each other, gathering dust, and there's an Oculus shaped, a Rift shaped dust spot on it because that's their gathering dust and blocking it from the Xbox. Like that's just. It's like what, $1,400 worth of bullshit that's just sitting there that I've never used. Played Destiny for 3 weeks and went, really, guys?
Yeah. You might as well play Warframe.
Pretty much. I don't know. There's not. I guess it was really a stupid purchase when I like RPG style type games, and it's like any one they make, they're probably released for the computer. So what was the point, dumbass? Like,
Yeah. I mean, Borderlands was kind of RPG-ish, almost.
but Borderlands is for the computer too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's really nothing, unless you want Fable, there's really nothing you can do for consoles.
They got like the fighting games, but they're just generally bullshit in my opinion. Like games that are multiplayer only are really stupid. I fucking hate that crap.
Yeah, and I hate that most games that used to be single player and multiplayer are just like degrading themselves into only multiplayer.
Only
Like fucking
multiplayer.
Battlefront. Like I loved Battlefront 2. That was amazing. But now it's just like, nope, you gotta play online. There's no single player. There's bots, like Call of Duty bots, but that doesn't fucking count.
Well, the free to play model works with it. Like I believe Paragon's doing it for Epic, like their MOBA that's a third person shooter type. Like that's fine. Like, if you're gonna have a multiplayer only style game, if the free to play model works really well for it. I
Yeah.
don't think the pay model. I don't even understand how the pay model works for them, because as far as I know, you end up with less revenue over time, because over time you'll gain more revenue. But I guess either way, you have to keep the servers up.
Yeah.
So I don't
No,
get
free to
it.
play is the only thing that makes sense for that. Like the same with Warframe and Smite and Vindictus and that kind of thing.
Because you're telling somebody, if you had to pay a $60 price tag to, buy League of Legends, let's say, or your Battlefronts or stuff, you're going to limit your fucking opportunity of people jumping in there. Whereas you could end up with 5 times the amount of player base, and if they all bought, half of what that was worth, just on average, and we know that from statistics, there's people who will spend $200-300, like League of Legends. Like there's people who spent $300-400 on League of Legends.
World of Tanks. I have friends that have played World of Tanks and they've spent like $70 on one tank. And he does it all the time. I don't get it. How do you spend that much money on a game like that? It's ridiculous. One tank. Doesn't
What
even
was
do
that?
anything different. It just looks like a cockroach.
What was that, Eve Online, where they had like that big war where they estimated it was like a couple $1 million worth of ships got blown up? I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like,
I love Eve. It's just the stories that come out of it are fantastic.
I tried the game once and I like a. This is the weird one of me. I love the concept. I hate playing it. It's like I love the whole real time when you log off, you're still learning skills. You got to take the, but I won't play it. It's just.
It's extremely stressful. Like it's the kind of game I would play if I had millions of dollars and I would never need to work again. Like because it's a job. It's literally a job. You have to sit there and like study spreadsheets. It's terrible.
Old school WoW theory crafting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get 1% more damage by doing this. It's like just live 1% longer, dumbass. You'll kill the boss then.
Yeah, I played RuneScape. I know the feeling.
I'm that asshole, like in those games. Like, and the worst part is I think I was top 10 in the world at one point for paladin tanks for WoW for a while, and it's like that was still my mentality. I just like, people are like, what do you theory craft? I'm like, I don't theory craft. My thumb just hits buttons on my naga and I kill shit. And then people don't believe me. They're like, oh, you gotta go somewhere. I'm like, I haven't looked up a single person. I just like fucking stay out of bad shit and kill motherfuckers.
That's
Well, how do you
that is the
prioritize your
mindset you need to
abilities?
go in.
How do you prioritize your abilities? Well, this one, when I throw it at the bad guy, it does the most damage. So, well, that's gonna be the first button I always hit. I fucking, and the worst part is that like MMOs are so dumbed down that that mentality makes you like a top 1% player.
Yep.
It's so bad.
Press the third button because this button does the third most damage out of all your abilities. Oh, the first one's done its cooldown. Press it again. You're all set. You're done.
Did you ever play WoW back in Wrath of the Lich King?
I played private servers. I never played actual WoW.
They in Wrath of the Lich King, when you played a Death Knight, it was, we literally called it the death. We had a it was a woman in our guild, and she was like in her 40s, right? And she would come in on her DK, and she would just like top the meters, and somebody comes in and asks like, "What do you do?" And she goes, "I don't know. I just hit the buttons that are shiny." Like that's how DK worked. Like it would highlight buttons when special effects happened, and as long as you just hit the buttons that were shiny, you would just like top the fucking meters. It was the greatest answer.
It's amazing.
The level of I mean, there was like for Ret Pally, I pissed off people during the Panda expansion. I was in like a top 100 world guild, and I was their prop Pally, and I switched it to Ret. And I had to switch to Ret because we were trialing some new tanks. We're like, well, we need a Ret Pally. I was like, all right, fine, I'll do fucking Ret. So I made a 1-button macro. It literally, I just hit the 1 key on my Naga, and my fucking macro would take care of everything because it was prioritizing different buttons like to hit first in a chain, and it would hit them like 0.1 seconds apart. And even though there's input lag to the server, it'll always take the first command first. So I actually played at 95% peak efficiency by hitting 1 button on my fucking Naga and then just staying out of bad shit because I didn't actually have to watch my rotation. I just had to make sure I was close enough to the boss to hit him, and I was just like, I started giving that fucking macro out to like everybody, and then they broke them on the next expansion for doing the cast sequence thing macros. It was fucking great.
Yeah, in Warcraft, they don't really care if you use macros either, do they? Like a lot of MMOs just won't let you use macros at all.
They can't stop some of them because people find ways around it because you can program add-ons.
Yeah.
So they try to break the in-game system for it, like cast sequence is what I was using. The problem is that you can generally even program, you can outsource, like you can program your Razor Naga to do shit. And like for some people it doesn't work right, but in general situations, if it isn't a tank swap mechanic boss fight, you can actually just program your Naga to do the entire fight for you, movement included. Like your Naga will actually program keyboard presses.
Yeah.
So you can, I tested that one. I couldn't believe it actually worked because you're the tank, you control the boss. I just fucking made an entire boss fight and just did it with my mouse. I just want to see if you can do it. There's other fun ones too, like the Windows voice recognition. You can actually scream your keys at that does not work when you don't have push to talk on Ventrilo, by the way. That really annoys your fucking group. Especially when you're a shadow priest, so your entire rotation is 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 3 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 3. I don't understand how people get the like MMOs are complicated for people.
It's giving me flashbacks to that mod for Skyrim where I actually had to yell the shouts.
Oh god, that's right. Oh, I wish there was like a game system that could actually take voice commands correctly, but they're all going to be foobarred in some way. But that would be so much fun.
It'd be great. That's where VR needs to go next.
Oh, there you go.
Come on,
you actually have to talk to the people. Like we need full on AIs. Where EverQuest. You ever play EverQuest?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when you had to get a quest? You had to actually like type out a sentence with the word that was highlighted in it.
Yeah.
Like that's what VR is gonna have to turn into. Like they're gonna like say something, and then you're gonna have to like form a question with that word highlighted. So. Which nobody ever actually typed a question if they weren't role playing. It was like, "Hey, stupid fuck, goblins, yay!" question mark, and it would just like give you the quest. Oh, I miss EverQuest. EverQuest was so fucking far ahead of its time.
It still is.
Yeah, in some ways.
Ideally,
yeah. There's no. That's the one thing I do miss. I miss dying, and then like having to do a corpse run. So you're just scared shitless running past all these monsters that can one-shot you because all your armor's sitting on your corpse. Oh, that's the good old days. None of this fucking resurrect shit. That's what I should do for fucking. Oh my.
Corpse runs.
I
Write it
almost don't
down.
want to say it. I almost don't want to say. Yeah, for Fallout.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I wonder if I could incorporate that. Like, because you can detect on dying. I don't know if it starts the reset until on death. So I'm wondering if on dying, I like teleport the player and then create a clone of the player naked at wherever they died at, and then put all their inventory items on it.
There's a way to. You could just turn the entire thing into like a VR arena. Like you know how when you died in gotta forget what it was in New Vegas. There was somewhere where you die and you just start back over again instead of actually dying. Old World Blues, where you're in that stupid obstacle course. You just do that.
I think it's essential. I think they set essential and detect bleed out. That would make
Uh,
sense. But I think that grabs at like 10 or 5%.
or Demigod, I think. Just sets you to 1%, or you have 1 health left.
1 second. Sorry, I got a thing I had to respond to because of that whole medical crap. God, that would actually be really funny. And then do it Borderland style, where it removes like a ton of your caps when you do it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Should give him just a 10 millimeter pistol and leather armor, and one
Yeah.
one
A
stim
Vault
pack.
101 vault suit.
Vault 101 vault suit and a stim pack, and be like, "Go get him, Tiger." You probably could do that. Drop a map marker where you died at. There's gonna be so many people that would just reload anyway, but fuck them.
Yeah,
I think there's ways to like delete their save games.
it's for those realism assholes.
Hold on, sorry, I'm kidding. Frickin' messages. Oh, I'm just tired anyway. It's been the weirdest week. Yeah. Oh yeah, as far as realism assholes, somebody got all pissed at me on Reddit. They were like, somebody was asking what the best mods are for realism, and I was telling them they need to get one that kills you while you're in cryosleep because that shit ain't possible. Fastest game ever.
It's fine.
I don't. So what's your biggest like so far in? You're only a couple months into this whole modding scene. What's your do you have any massive bitch about it? Like, what do you hate the most? Dealing with users, mod page, whatever it is. Mine's clearly dealing with users.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the users, obviously, especially on Bethesda.net, because console gamers are just like, put this on PS4, and you fucking can't. You can't do it. There's no option, but they're just complaining about it anyway.
No, I had one of my videos was about a mod I'm making for the fucking Xbox, and one of the comments are, "You gonna mod for consoles?" I'm like, you guys are literally so batshit stupid that even if we did, and this mod was already up, and there was a link to it, your stupid ass probably still would have asked the question. Console fucking users. It's gonna be the most.
Oh, I know what bothers me. It's when you post something like I'll make a kukri or a katana or something like that, and somebody will respond saying, "This isn't a kukri or katana or whatever it is." Like, this isn't a fire axe. And originally, when I posted my fire axe mod, the handle was on backwards because I don't use axes in real life, so I didn't know. So I posted it, and then after I flipped it around to the next update, somebody commented and said the fire axe handle is still backwards. What do you mean it's still backwards? There's only 2 positions.
This is why you've got to put a sticky like I have on my mods, where it's just like, post it will get deleted, post it will get you banned from my files for life. Like, I'm still banning people over my UMP because Blue wanted to. The UMP is made out of a polymer, right? A UMP is a fucking plastic gun, basically, in real life.
Yeah.
He
And
wanted
they're like,
to
this isn't shiny enough.
he wanted to test metal textures. He wanted to work with metal, so we made the UMP a basically steel, and tested rust textures and all sorts of shit on it. So it's the UMP, but it's metal. And I even have that in like the sticky. It's like, anybody bitching about the textures, we were testing this, you'll get banned from my files. I think I banned like 20 people from that file because they're like, the UMP is made out of polymer. And like, I always want to respond with, can you explain to me how you had like a polymer injection system out of that workbench that has screwdrivers and hammers on it? You couldn't have even made this gun, bro. You couldn't make any of these guns. Have you seen the tools you're using? Pipe guns. You'd make pipe guns. The pipe guns would work.
This is why I don't make any of my weapons creatable at a workbench because it's dumb. You don't make a tomahawk at a workbench.
We're doing that
Especially a fucking chemistry station.
We're doing that for Vault 273. I got pissed at this because I'm like, I really hate this shit, and I'm going to make it so that there's an actual guy like on the boat that's your base of operations who has like an entire like forge behind him and shit, and you have to give him plans, and then he'll make the shit for you like after 24 hours.
See, that makes sense.
Yeah, your Wasteland Jesus lawyer chick is not coming out of the fucking vault. Like, unless she was, like, matrixed in there, or, fuck, what was it, Demolition Man, where they, you know, when they hibernate, I don't know, I'm dating myself there, aren't I? Was it Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and, fuck, what's his name? I Am the Law, fucking, damn it, I lost his name. But yeah, they fucking froze, you know, they froze and put him in cryosleep for, like, prison, and then they would, like, rehab him with, like, different skill sets and shit. Like,
yeah,
that's not what the cryosleep was, guys. It wasn't Matrix shit. They weren't teaching her how to, you know, create guns and fucking chems and shit. And like, quite frankly, if you guys have seen what they mix in those chems, you wouldn't be taking them and getting those effects. You would be taking them and keeling over dead.
Literally a Braxo cleaner. That's all it is. It's just you're drinking bleach. That's what these chems are.
The fertilizer too. There's the one that's like just straight up fertilizer. Like, what are you doing with this shit? Like, there's no end game with that fertilizer where it comes out where it doesn't kill you when you put it into your blood system, guys.
It's cow poop. You're injecting cow poop. I'm sorry.
No, Brahmin poop. They're not cows.
Oh, it's fine. Two-headed cows.
Damn it.
It's pre-war poop. Pre-war fertilizer.
Pre-war fertilizer. It's been aged. Aged for 200 years.
Like a fine wine. It's just really smelly.
Oh, I really can't wait for the Sex Lab mods. This shit's gonna be so great. Fucking.
I don't need that explained.
You've never seen the Sex Lab mods? What?
No. I mean,
it's gonna be good. Immersive Deathclaw rape when they kill you. Oh, it's gonna be some good stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm down. I'll download that.
You should go check Lover's Lab, bro. That was in for Skyrim too. For like, they would, if animals like killed you, they would just start raping you, like dragons. You're not surviving the dragon rape. I just want to point this out to people. Like, there's a level of fantasy, and then there's,
It's very large.
Just a little bit. Unless he was like the runt of the litter, had tiny penis disorder dragon. I don't know. Like,
every single dragon was. That's the side effect of being brought back from the dead from.
There you go. There you go.
Just have a tiny penis.
And explain how the horses don't kill him when the horses rape him. Yeah. I love Lover's Lab. Some of the fucking people put so much effort. They make the effort we put into mods look minimal just to make like animal dongs and shit. Like,
yeah,
those are some dedicated motherfuckers. I love you all guys, but you're fucked up. Not as much as pedo mods. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the Nexus hot files to start turning into child followers, dude. I'm just waiting. It's coming.
Hasn't there already been one?
I haven't seen one, no.
I thought there was one.
I saw follower mods, like there's the ultimate follower one. I think somebody released, it was like a waifu follower. There was a waifu follower on there.
Yeah.
I think she was voiced with like Piper's voice or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting, because we haven't had like better looking children yet. So it's coming.
Oh god. Dude, I'm already on like several NSA lists, but this is putting me on another one.
Oh my goodness. No, what gets you on NSA list is like saying shit like, did you guys know it's illegal to say, I want to kill the President of the United States of America? It's completely illegal to say that, everybody. I'm probably already on all their watch lists, and I've done this before on video, so I'm already fucked. But I always Google how to kill the president when I hit somebody's computer for the first time. It pisses people off to no end. I'm like, they're already watching you guys. They're already watching you. They're watching everything you do. Just roll with it.
I'm fairly certain there's just one NSA agent just named Darren or something that's just assigned to my Skype chat because I send files back and forth to my friends just called child porn, and inside them will just be like pictures, like stick drawings.
Oh my god, I wonder how many people in this group chat have auto accept on. I just want to zip a mod and call it Childborn and send it to everybody now.
It's just stick figures.
They're gonna get so pissed. I want to see how many people download it. Actually, it's like sent to these many people, and you can open it up. Well, now I know, guys.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm gonna start sneaking things into mods too. Ellie, I think it was a complete accident, but Ellie was linking a picture, like the guy who did the invisible furniture markers. Apparently, packed inside of his BSA is a texture replacer for certain holotapes that just puts like anime porn on them. So it's probably an accidental pack. Like he had that. This is why every time I make a mod, I use a clean data folder. Like I don't want to accidentally put anything in the fucking thing. Like when we did MBI for Skyrim, dude, I'm not even shitting you. They had like, I think 40 different SKSE files and like or something like that, and like a ton of fucking vanilla. Like everybody who was packing up shit, I had to go clean everybody's crap. I was like, why don't you just literally, like, you don't, it's not like you even need a clean data folder. You just need to click the meshes, textures, and shit, and change the first letter, and then it won't load.
Yeah. Or even just like if you've got it on an SSD or something, you just drag it over and then move it back later. Like that'd probably be even quicker.
Anything will do that. Like if you just dragged it into the Fallout 4 directory, most hard drives just change where the path is located. It won't move the files.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, so there's anything you could do that to, or just make a new folder inside the data folder that says my old shit and just drag everything in there.
Shove it in there, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did for Fading when I uploaded his shit. I just changed all the names of my folders real quick and up because I don't like mixing files. Because the CK has... It's a lot better now. But in Skyrim, it would just pack random files and miss other files. It's the worst archive creator ever.
If you go into some of my mods sometimes, I'll just name like mods and like weapon mods, not actual mods on the Nexus, but the mods that you upgrade the weapons with. I'll name the weapons IDs like really offensive things.
Oh yeah.
So nobody ever knows.
Some people started to check it on mine, unfortunately, and I actually had to be clean. The NVIDIA contest says like no offensive stuff in the mod, so I literally had to go back and change all my IDs because all my spell IDs and shit and names, that stuff that wouldn't show up was stuff like Bethesda's faggots, fuck you Pete Hines, Todd Howard suck Pete Hines' dick. Like I was like, I probably shouldn't do this.
This once.
If they open it up, then they'll be like, you can't win, even though it's probably rigged anyway. But I'm going with, well, see, I'm going with half rigged because they're opening it up to the public to vote, which I think is I think that's actually worse than just rigging it straight up.
Yeah, we all remember the Bodie McBoatface fiasco.
Bodie McBoatface. That was so good. There was some down the list that I was surprised didn't get higher. Like
They changed the name to something like really generic, and they're now naming the dinghy on the boat Bodie McBoatface. So you know it's a compromise. It's okay.
Oh, these little bitches! Fucking.
I know. They should have kept it. They opened it up to the internet. They knew it would happen. What did they expect? They'd get like some famous guy's name? No.
Didn't New Zealand do that with their flag, and like all the flags that were getting put up were just terrible, and there was one that was like drawn out of like cartoony with somebody fucking a sheep. And it was getting. Yeah. They're like, well, maybe
there were generally good ones though, and like the I think they had like 50 in the New Zealand flag referendum, and they were all good ones. But the one that everybody liked, the one that was a black fern, the football team in New Zealand was like, no, this is our football emblem. You can't use this as a flag, and that was the one everybody liked, and they took it down. It's like so stupid. It's like fuck you, New Zealand football people, which is actually soccer in America. Whatever.
Goddamn,
I don't know, man.
It's because they're all byproducts of sheep.
They're actually sheep people. They're literally sheep people.
I mean, they're fucking sheep all the time, and then a little of that's got to get in there. Sorry, New Zealanders, we know your fetish.
I love Flight of the Conchords though, so you've got that going for you.
That's a very valid point. Flight of the Conchords is good, and they have Mordor. I mean,
yeah,
you can't. Middle Earth is the whole country, I guess.
Super cool.
I want to go there and just like piss everybody off and be that stereotypical American. Like that's why I'm bad when I travel. I just want to be the stereotypical American. Like
yeah.
I have friends from Canada who come here and they play stereotypical like Canadian of like what Southern people would think of Canadians. Like they just no, we live in igloos and shit.
Oh yeah, I took my husky sled
You
to Tim
know,
Hortons the other day and got myself some bacon flavored baked milk, eh? Yeah.
we had friends down here who got like a free burgers from some guy down in the south because they were just like they never had actual real cow before. Like they're just making shit up. Like I want to be that guy when I go to other countries. Like I just if I ever went to France, I would just try to pick a fight with everybody. Like just scream about how good America is and their country sucks and shit.
What the fuck is this? I ordered a Baconator. This is just a burger with some like bacon strips on it. When I order a Baconator in Canada, I get an entire pig.
No, we get little strips of like flimsy bacon. The only way you get real bacon down here is you go to the slaughterhouse. Most bacon
It's
is so
fine.
bad.
I don't even like bacon, which is
What
weird.
the fuck is wrong? All right, this stream's over with. We're done.
We're done.
You're clearly a Satanist. The fucking who doesn't like bacon? Jesus. The it's good for everything. Atkins diet and just eat bacon nonstop. The
It, maybe if you throw it up after,
my
I'll believe you.
no, because it's a carb free diet. That's all it is. Like
Okay.
my in-laws were on that and they kept getting on us to do it, so I just started eating like more and more bacon all the time anytime we went out with them, and I was like, I'm on the Atkins diet. I'm just like ordering 20 pieces of bacon at restaurants. Like this is healthy, right? I'm not gonna have a heart attack in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I can stand it.
It's a good diet, except for I think the guy who started it died from eating his own diet. No, the
Oh, I didn't know this.
I don't know. It's something weird about all that shit. I don't know. I'm skeptical of like any diet that's like we're the diet that works. I'm like, how about you go exercise, fucker, and get out of the house? Like this is from a fat ass guy who sits on his computer all day. Like just go work out. Like I
Don't
understand.
drink a case of Coke every day. You'll
Seriously, like don't be like me and have just towers of Mountain Dew and play how high can you stack the cans. That's not gonna lose you any weight.
I love people. I used to work at Wendy's, and people would come. I worked on the drive-through, so I'd get people at like 10 o'clock at night that would just drive up, and they were like, "Fat people don't come into Wendy's during the day." And when I say fat, I mean like 600-pound fat. They come in at that time. They come in at 10 o'clock because they don't want to be seen. And they're like, yeah, I think I'll get 7 junior bacon cheeseburgers.
This is ending with a Diet Coke, isn't it?
Yep, Diet Coke and a salad because I'm on a diet. And to be fair, the Wendy's salads are really good. So I'm not going to, they're pretty tasty.
I'll have like 93,000 calories worth of shit and a Diet Coke. So
A large Diet Coke.
you're gonna drink the nastiest type of Coke just to save yourself 2% of the calories you're ingesting. Like holy shit!
You might as well just go the full 300 miles. So
And in case anybody's wondering if we're making fun of fat people, yes, we are. You're fat, you know it. You can fix it. Like Jesus.
there's, it's okay. Like there's people out there that genuinely have like problems with their
they're such the minority. 99%
Yeah.
of the people who claim that shit just have their biggest problem is they can't keep their hand from going to their mouth with food in it.
Yeah.
Sorry, fat people. I'm fat too. It's like there's a point like I don't actually have any issue with it too. There's a point where it's if you're uncomfortable with it, fix it. It's called self-control. It's like I'm at about 280 and I'm like, I'm fine with this. Anytime I cross 300, I just go on like psycho diet and work out and like lose 20 pounds and I'm like, I'm okay with it.
That's not even bad, right? Like being around that weight, it's like it's not super bad for you. Like you can still function as a human being. It's people that have to drive around on fat scooters every day that are an issue. So
yeah, I think my mean weight is like 240, 250 when I'm actually working, so I don't even drop that much because I'm big. And it's like if I get muscle mass, you're obviously gonna get. But if I'm not working and I just wanted to be a healthy weight, I'd probably be like 190. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still a big guy. But yeah, writing is Jesus Christ. If I ever got to that point, I don't get it. It's like I'm comfortable. Like I take that for people. You're fat, and I'm like, yeah, no shit. It's because I like food.
the crappy thing is, once you hit that weight, your body adjusts to it. So it's harder to lose weight once you've hit the 600-pound mark.
That's why you don't go over a certain point. You're like, nope, stopping this shit. Tell me about it. I'm like, ain't going that high. I like to be able to eat what I want to eat, but I would also like to live past 55.
Yep.
So I figure they'll come out with new and exotic foods. Like we'll probably find aliens and kill them and eat them. At some point, I would like to taste some alien. So that sounded
Oh.
way too sexual. Uh,
Don't look too far into that.
it's like one of those. Let's just backspace this conversation.
Yeah, it's like, oh, your video is now up on Pornhub. It's okay.
Pornhub. It's the. That's where I'll have to go when they do that like sex lab shit. I'll have to like stream on Pornhub or something.
Yes. Yeah.
I just
YouTube doesn't like that.
It's honestly, it's not even the whole sexual aspect. It's just I want to know that if Brahmin give fellatio, which head? Also, you have to ask yourself, if a Brahmin is being sexually pleased, do both brains feel the pleasure? Or does one side control, like, is there one that's getting left out? Like, the poor fucking Brahmin. Like, I've always wondered that about conjoined twin type people, too. Like, what if they... Like, never mind. That's just going to be a whole odd conversation.
I'm under the impression that the one Brahmin head is just there for the ride. Like, it doesn't actually control anything. It just eats.
It just chills the fuck out. And it's like, nom,
Yeah.
nom, nom, nom.
I mean, it's a cow, so it's not that bad.
Doesn't only one of them get... I think only one of them gets decapitated, too. I should probably look at that.
One at a time.
Oh,
You
they
can
do?
you can blow up both.
Okay.
I make melee weapons. I do this sometimes.
I clearly don't pay attention to this shit. The oh, I forgot Far Harbor was out, so we get to see what their turret defense bullshit is at some point.
Yeah.
Talk about
I
being
haven't.
pissed off. I make a turret defense map, and then they fucking have one in this shit.
Yeah. I haven't looked at all at Far Harbor. Like, I was really excited for Automatron because that was cool. And then the next DLC was neat just because Wasteland Workshop, you get to make a little extra with your workshop. And then, like, at this point, I don't really play Fallout anymore. I just really enjoy making things for it. So I'm just like, I'm looking at this download thing on Steam, and it's like, hey, you should play Far Harbor. And I'm like, maybe. Maybe not, though. I'm not sure if I'm excited or not.
That's welcome to how it goes when you're modding. You'll end up spending way more time modding the game than you ever do playing it. And it's just it's a stupid spiral of creativity and stupidity where it's just like earlier when we were talking, like you'll be just, especially when you get to that point. That's the problem. It's like the more you learn, then anytime you want to do something simple, it literally turns into a clusterfuck because your brain will keep going, well, I can do this.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that filter saying, hey, stupid, don't do that, then you're kind of fucked. It's although it is kind of funny. I don't know.
Oh yeah, super fun.
There's some things that are just a blast to do. I don't know why. Like, there's no return on it besides, I don't know, what you conceivably get in your mind out of it, our fan base, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I don't. And by the way, people, I don't call you a fan base. Somebody had asked me this at one point, like, you're gonna lose your conceivable fan base if there's paid modding and shit. I'm like, fan base? I was like, yeah, I actually have some legitimate fans and people who've donated to me. There's like maybe, 80 people out there? The other 150,000 of you, if it was legal, you would mug me in the street and steal my wallet.
Yeah, you don't care.
Fuck you. Like, if I had my mods on a USB drive in my pocket and it was legal for you to do so, you guys would have no problem with just walking up, beating me in the back of the head, and taking the fucking USB drive. Like, these are the type of fans that we have.
Yeah. Especially the console guys now.
Oh,
We've seen Bethesda.net. No hate on console gamers, though.
I have
Just-
a lot of hate for console gamers.
Just the people on Bethesda.net. I hate you guys.
Well, the biggest problem, though, is you're not even going to get fans from console gamers because they can't see who made the mod.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't get over that one. I'm like, here's the one thing that we get is like mod authors. We're like, they get to see our names and they won't think shit about it, but I can pretend that they know who I am. And then Bethesda's just like, nah, we don't need that.
I mean, I have a few people on the Nexus that'll comment on my, like, every single mod I post. They'll be like, yep, he's still insane, making melee weapons. What's wrong with him?
But the game needs more melee weapons. It didn't have any, like...
There wasn't even a fire axe!
Yeah, you're running around. That's what pissed me. I was actually debating at one point making, like, a full melee weapon overhaul with, like, Because there's just tons of shit that they could have added. Like every weapon is like, hey, barbed wire.
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck? There's tons of other shit, guys. You could be putting syringers on that thing, duct taping it, filling it with acid. Like, and you're beating people and injecting them with acid. Like, how? There's just so many things. Like, you're telling me in 200 years, all they figured out was, hey, guys, barbed wire works really well when you hit people with it.
It's on an axe. It doesn't even help. It does nothing.
Actually, there's no axes in the whole game, is there?
Well, there's the Grognak axe.
Oh, okay, that's true. Well, no, that's an axe. Like, I'm talking about, like, just normal axe, like yours.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a fire
There's
axe,
nothing.
like chopping axe, splitting maul, like...
People keep telling me to make fucking serrated mods on the fire axe. Like, no, that's not how axes work.
Yeah, you guys need to know how cutting works.
It's a blunt object with a blade at the end. It's not a slashing weapon.
Yeah, it's an impact object.
Yeah, exactly.
Serrated isn't even for slashing as much as it is for actual cutting.
Yeah, sawing.
Slashing serrated doesn't actually work as well. It's better. Slashing is better with just a straight blade.
Yeah.
Serrated is sawing. Serrated is if you're actually like going in at something repeatedly.
That's why there's like there's serrated bits at the bottom of most combat knives. Not at the top, because that would be dumb. But
But gamers don't realize this. They think the Desert Eagle is the be-all end-all weapon.
well, I mean it is.
No, it's not. Have you fired a Desert Eagle?
Fired in Counter-Strike Go. No, I've never played Counter-Strike.
Oh my god. Fire one of those in real life, you will realize how that is like the most useless weapon to ever have in a combat situation. When you're having to constantly clean, or like either clean your gun for starters. Like I think the Desert Eagle needs to be cleaned like every 4 clips almost minimum.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's fucking terrible. And it will, I think I've gotten once or twice through an entire clip, and I have fired hundreds of clips. I always go, every time I go to the shooting range, I always buy 3 or 4 clips for a Desert Eagle just because it's fun as fuck to fire. But it's just like having sex with a fat girl when you're drunk. You know, you don't want to keep... No, I'm just... Sorry, fat chicks. It jams all the time. You're constantly, like, clearing it. And then, if you're over 6 foot tall, you're going to get pegged in the face with the fucking shells repeatedly. They either hit me in the forehead. I've had burns on my forehead, and then I always wear a polo now and like button it up tight as fuck because I had one with like a loose collar and the shell went down my back and like burned my back. Like,
Ooh.
Oh, it's a fucking terrible gun, dude. There's one video that I couldn't put up, but I was trying to show people. I was like, I can't show my parents this because they're religious, and the whole entire time I'm screaming shit about Israel and Jewish people.
Well, now you can't put this up, so.
Yeah, I was like, it's the dumbest gun ever. Like, it's gonna jam repeatedly. It's expensive as fuck. And if you're in a combat situation, and a lot of the guys at the shooting range and stuff are vets and are full active duty, and they basically say the same thing, all of them. If your gun jams in a combat situation and it isn't strapped to you, you've just lost your gun because you're not gonna keep that fucker. You're throwing it to the ground and pulling your next available weapon.
Yeah.
So why are you going to be throwing away like $1,000 gun that A, can't really kill anybody wearing body armor? Which another thing people don't realize is the bigger the bullet, the less damage it does to armor, because the armor disperses the damage more equally and it doesn't have a chance to penetrate.
Oh, okay.
Which is why armor piercings are generally the smaller ones, like 5.56 rounds and shit, and 9mm are easier to make armor piercing, I believe. For it's why the UMP works that way, and the way I made the UMP work is it does like quarter damage to armored targets because it's a 45 round.
Isn't 9mm like super useless against everything except for that though? Like sometimes people will shoot it at like it won't even pierce the skull if you get a headshot.
Sometimes, yeah, I think so. It depends on the gun. I mean the it's really weird too because I think you can pack more into certain bullets too, so they're actually more powerful and more accurate, etc. I'm not the most expert on them, but I don't know why cops use them as much either. It's probably because of that. It's probably because of the lessening damage, unless you get an actual fatal hit with the damn thing.
Yeah, shoot somebody in the eye, they're dead regardless.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like people are really weird in games like Desert Eagle, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't. I want to make a mod that makes your guns jam in fucking Fallout. Like, just I hope Obsidian does that.
Yeah, just wait for Fallout New Orleans. We're fine.
Just make a jam mod because guns jam. They fucking jam all the time.
They definitely do. I was kind of bummed that they took out weapon what's it called? Durability.
Durability? Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been nice too. But see, then if they'd put in weapon durability, they would have had to put in jamming because as your weapon's durability goes down, your damage would go down, your durability would go down from an
Yeah,
RPG, or your jam percentage would go up. And then
it's
they would
kind
have
of
had to
like
put in perks to make it so you get less jam when you get the perk, like which isn't that hard, by the way. It's just you could just do
no.
actor values with it and conditions, and you could even do perks because the perks can detect when you're firing and shit as well. So I don't know. I don't know why they didn't do it. It's laziness,
Well,
money.
it's the same like they didn't put durability into Skyrim. It's like they're veering away from it for some reason. They're dumbing down their RPGs. They're going the Mass Effect route, and it's turning from an RPG into a shooter.
That's actually one of the few areas where I actually am okay with that. I don't like durability. I think that
Yeah,
it takes away more than it gives.
I liked it only because it gave more of a reason to collect things, and you get
No,
the jury rig perk.
that is actually very true. I think you actually. You know what? I'll give you. I'd say okay on that one. For like Fallout is generally a giant Minecraft collection game, so
Yep.
it probably would have helped with that because you're never not back at your settlement all the time. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, did you? I don't know if you saw that video I did with the engrams. I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, I did watch that.
I'm kind of making it more of a run and gun action shooter as well because I don't like collecting everything all the time.
Well, at this point, it works.
What do you? Oh, what?
Yeah, no, like at this point, like what Bethesda's done with the game, like making it a run and gun shooter would be perfect.
Yeah, well, I like because I was playing Doom, and that's kind of what gave me the idea. Was I like the fact that when you take people out, you get the health and the ammo drops, and they like just auto loot to you if you're right next to them.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked that idea because it gives you the and then dropping the engrams on the ground was more Destiny style because you could do that in Destiny. You could actually go through you could run and gun an entire scenario and finish everything off, and then you could go back and collect your loot. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like it kind and you would see your loot. Like it wasn't like I have trouble finding bodies sometimes, and the body cleanup happens really weird sometimes too. And this way you've got like five, I'll probably up it to 10-minute engram timers, but like, you run and gun, and as you're bypassing bad guys that you've killed, it refills your primary ammo, whatever gun you're holding, gives you some health back, 3 to 6% per enemy killed. And so you can just keep running and gunning where there's no pausing, pulling up your menu to heal, do all sorts of shit. And I get it probably doesn't lend as well of an air to the VATS playthroughs, but I've never been a big fan of VATS.
I was in New Vegas, but that was mainly because my computer, I didn't realize it at the time, but my computer was so crappy that it could like barely run New Vegas at 45 frames, which is like right at the point where it's laggy enough that it kind of disrupts your ability to aim, but it's not laggy enough that you notice it. So it's just like this subconscious, why can't I aim? So I just used VATS all the time because it was easier.
I have to play with a controller. I can't play a first person shooter game without a controller. Like I'm terrible with mouse and keyboard. I don't know why.
I don't know why I'm good at it because I started with a controller. I used to be an Xbox guy.
Yeah, I love it. I was having a blast with Doom, but Doom is so fast paced. That would actually be really cool with like Doom's normal, like Doom you only have one speed. It's just forward and go, right?
Yeah.
There's no sprint. But Doom's normal movement speed is like the sprint speed in Fallout plus about 20%. Like
That's
it's
amazing.
so fucking fast, dude. But if you don't, and the problem is the cool thing they did with it, the really cool thing they did with it was the AI. Like I was and somebody on my stream mentioned it. I was starting with normal AI tactics where if you duck behind cover, they lose LOS and they try to come around at you, right?
Yeah.
Well, because of the way that they made some of the shit in Doom and the fact that they could teleport too is really bitchy. But the guys have charge up attacks. They can actually charge them up, and one of the dudes has a charge up attack where when he fires it, the bullet homes in on you really slowly. Well, not really slowly, but slowly. He fired it around a fucking corner at me. Like he fired it around the corner and then it homed in on me. I was like surprised as shit. And then the fucking imps will charge up their abilities and leap from one platform to the other and throw fireballs at you while they're in midair. I'm
Oh.
like, oh my god, I love this AI already. Like it's actually fun. Like if you stop moving, you're basically gonna get torn apart in that game because they made all the none of the projectiles are instant, so you can dodge everything. But
Right.
it's there's so much stuff like in certain fight situations you'll have like 15 enemies on the screen. So if you even try to juke and weave, if you try to do the left right to dodge basically instantaneous projectiles like everything else like Counter Strike, like Fallout, you'll get hit because you'll walk right back into ones that were fired when you were there previously.
Oh yeah.
It's actually kind of fun that it forces you to use the environment really fast. And I of course was stupid and put it on like the hardest difficulty setting, and I'm getting old and I can't handle first person shooters. I'm like, I want something slow.
I can't do that either. I'm terrible at video games. This is why I don't play like League of Legends or anything like that.
Play Heroes of the Storm. It's slower paced.
No,
You can be an
I've
asshole.
never been into
MOBAs?
I've never been into competitive games at all for some reason. I just never enjoyed them. Like I've played them and I've been decent at them, but I've just never enjoyed them.
I think I take a different approach because I'm an asshole. I don't play them to win. I play them to piss the other people off.
Oh,
I'm like that stereotypical internet troll. I do the same thing with board games. Like my mother has not played a board game with me for like at least a decade, I think, because she gets so pissed when she can't win because she's super competitive. So any type of game where I can actually screw over one person, I will make it so my mother can't win. Because I find it hilarious that she actually takes the game so seriously, and then she'll get so furious that she can't
the
win.
entire point of a board game is to not take it seriously.
That's what I think. I always did that with my friends too. One of my buddies has this game called Twilight Imperium, which is basically you need 2 or 3 nights free to play this game. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's like Risk just had a baby with world domination and Star Wars. And it's fucking huge. And we have one buddy who is like this little Irish guy. He fucking was the typical midget Irish person. He take everything so fucking seriously. And I'd role play whatever species I had and just like piss him off. Like I would capture his generals and then I'd just have like torture conventions while it was my turn. Like, I'm like, well, I'm gonna role play this. And yeah, I would lose the game, but he'd lose the game too. And it's just like my other friend just doesn't get it. He's like, I don't know why you play, and I'm like, I don't know why I play either. I think it's funny. I was like, it's a 3-night game. Like we're spending like fucking 25 hours playing one board game. Like holy shit, dude.
Can't take this seriously.
Just like chance games, like dice games, like just straight up Risk.
Yeah.
My favorites with those is when you like assault a base and you've got one little dude and the other guy's got like 20 and you win. I'm like, what the fuck is this, Sparta?
Yeah.
Except for I was attacking.
That's why I don't like Civilization, because there's too much chance in Civilization.
Oh, you've never had your nuclear sub sunk by longboats before?
No, fucking every time.
That I love it when you're taking a tank in and the other dude's got like spearmen and they'll take your tank out over time. You're like, what?
Like, oh, the tank counts as cavalry, so the spearmen do triple damage. Like, fuck
like-
yourself.
I'm like, sure, it took 25 of those spearmen to kill my tank, but
It's a
tank! Were they just jamming up the treads with their bodily fluids as I was killing them? Like, was there just too many spears in the tube? We couldn't fire any more bullets? I mean, I guess there's some... I just want to see it happen in real life. Like, I want to see if this is possible. Like, one tank versus, like, 100 people with spears.
Go Deadliest Warrior. I want to see it.
My money's still on the tank, though.
Yeah.
I just hated that shit. I was like, I couldn't believe that in Civ. It was Civ 4, I think, when I first saw that. I'm like, what are you doing, guys?
It was worse in Civ 3 because there was more of an RNG aspect in Civ 3.
Well, I mean, not to mention, you got the small problem of you're like, oh, I'm riding horse with spear, and then this giant machine of death just tramples trees. You're not running at that with your spear. I don't care what your commander says. You're peeing and shitting yourself as you're running back to your fucking...
And so is the horse.
So is the horse. You're right, the horse wouldn't be following you in. Oh, I still love Civ games. They're still fun. Mostly because I just try to get to nukes before everybody else and then just decimate the world.
I'm not like an aggressive person, so I'm just terrible at Civ games. I'll try like a science victory, and it's just so fucking boring that I just like quit halfway through.
That is true, and especially if you play on like the marathon, you'll be at like turn 950.
Yep.
You're just like hitting space bar, and then no matter how far computers come, for some reason the Civ game still takes 6 minutes to calculate the enemy's turns.
I know. Because it like actually does it. It like chooses their moves and then does it. It doesn't just fucking do everything all at once.
Yeah,
and it's even
chooses them all
worse when you can,
individually.
you can view the entire map, so it actually shows them moving. Even if you turn animations off, they're still fucking moving around. Like, Jesus, Sid Meier.
Because the engine calculates the move, and then it calculates the next move with that move in mind, and then it calculates the next move with those previous moves in mind. So it just, yeah, the longer the game goes, the next player's turn is going to do the same thing, and then it's like, it's terrible.
So bad.
But it's still fun. I don't know. I have fun with those. I mean, they're all kind of generic, and they haven't really changed since Civ 3. You're still playing the same game, just slightly better graphics and some extra shit.
Endless Legend is pretty cool. I played that a little while ago.
Which one's
It's
that?
Endless Legend is another 4X game. It's sort of like Civ 5, but they tried to improve on the formula, and it's really pretty, and it's fantasy based, and it's cool.
I think I've
There's
heard the name. I'm not clicking in my head. I'll have to look it up later. The anything you're excited about coming out? Any video games?
uh I mean,
Arm-
besides the obvious Obsidian repeat of Fallout 4. No, I don't. When I started modding, I started just not liking video games anymore for some reason, which is terrible. That's not the direction I should go in, but apparently that happened.
oh no, it does. It's because you see under the hood.
I mean, I've always seen under the hood. I just see under more now.
Yeah, it's
Like the new Star Trek trailer, like they're coming out with a Star Trek TV show, and you can see that they've rendered the letters with like a texture that's just gray with like they've generated fog in Photoshop and put it on top and made it a little bit shiny, and that's their letters. It's like,
it's that point where you can see enough that you realize how fucking lazy everybody is. That's the problem. That
and
that
it's
is
like
the real problem.
it's Star Trek. They're supposed to be lazy. I shouldn't be angry, but I am.
But it's 2016 Star Trek. Put some oomph
Yeah.
into it. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
J.J. Abrams did it.
Well, for the first one. Yeah. J.J. Abrams put too many lens flares in that shit. Like, lens flares should have had its credits.
Yeah. The new Star Wars was good though. No lens flares in that. Not many anyway.
But the new Star Wars was terrible.
I enjoyed it.
It was so. You should watch. You should. I'm gonna pimp this one. I have a rant video about the Star Wars, and if you can watch that video and you can still say that the Star Wars was a decent movie, I will give you props because it has so many fallacies. Like I'm not even just talking about like lore fallacies, but there's just scientific fallacies, physics problems. There's just,
Oh yeah, definitely.
oh, it killed me, man. And there's just so many like they literally, one of the writers was just like, man, why is this happening? And they were Mr. Torque reasons. Like what?
But don't you see? If you ignore all the bad things, everything's
God.
amazing.
I couldn't do it. It was like, I mean, it just started off bad. You've got BB, who's like this fucking ball who's rolling through the desert, and all the stormtroopers and Captain Surrender, who's worse than Jar Jar Binks, fucking, oh, we need to find him. And then then they just leave. Like, they're just like, oh, we just give up. Let's take this dude. Like, there's this ball-shaped track leaving this fucking place. Just go follow. It's literally the only one. Like, it's not like you're just, meh. I mean, this ball flying through the desert. You can't help but be able to follow it.
Yeah, it was. There's things like that, but I try not to let them get to me that much.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't suspend I mean, there's points where I can suspend disbelief, like Battleship. I don't know if you've seen that. That movie is fucking god awful, but it's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
It's a great movie. Like, it's one of those where I was able to just suspend it because they just had fun with it and they really didn't give a shit after a certain point. Like, I almost walked out of the theater in the first 10 minutes on that movie. Like, me and my wife almost walked out of the theater. We're glad to this day we didn't. Like, we will watch that movie when it's on. It'll just show up on the TV. It's fucking great. But then you got Star Wars where they're trying to take it so super seriously, yet they're just making all these rookie mistakes. Let's strafe this thing. You're in spaceships. Why are you doing a strafing run? You can just come at it straight from space and keep firing your lasers, and you literally only have to make one pass. What the...
But strafing, man.
Not to mention, they're like, we're losing so many people, and then they show the thing, and they have like 4 times the fighters they went in with. You're like, wait, what? Where did these guys come from? I don't know. And then of course the nerd side of me can't get over the fact that they sucked an entire sun into the center of this planet, and yet the entire planet didn't collapse in on itself.
It's fine. It's alright.
And then the Third Reich shit, like, the whole stormtroopers being Nazis thing just got me. Like, seriously, guys,
They are literally Nazis.
did we have to go there? They were doing everything but Sig Heil. I bet you there's an outtake with one extra doing that. I would have. I'd have been fired.
My friend gets angry at me because he loves the Brotherhood and Fallout 4, and they are Nazis. There's no way around it.
Well, they're like,
And
they're
he's
like
like,
Amish
no.
Nazis. They're Amish Nazis. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. Like the new leader of the Brotherhood, he obviously killed Sarah Lyons, and that's how we got into power. Like it alludes to it multiple times in terminals around the Pridwin. So I don't care. He's a dick.
You know more lore than I do there.
Yeah.
I didn't play any of the DLC shit for the other ones, I guess. I have no idea. I don't remember. That's my biggest issue. It's like I don't remember this shit. Because I played Fallout 3 in New Vegas, and I don't remember hardly anything.
I don't remember his name. The guy that runs the Pridwin.
Oh, Maxon? Elder Maxon.
Yeah, Maxon, yeah. So, Maxon was in Fallout 3, right? He was like a little kid.
Okay.
He was a little kid that hung around with Elder Lyons. Once in a while, they found him like on a battlefield. Elder Lyons died. He was old and he just kind of toppled over. And then obviously Sarah took over because that was her dad that died. So she wanders in, she becomes the elder, and then she's in a battle with Maxon, like not against him, but like alongside him. And then she just kind of dies and nobody says anything. And like all the records have been erased of this. So it's like it's pretty clear that something happened to her. Like either she's alive and she's just like in hiding with like the rest of the Brotherhood, because obviously the Brotherhood in Fallout 4 is like the outcasts and Maxon is taking control. But I don't know. I think it would be cool if somebody made a mod, because Bethesda's never going to touch on this because they have the story writing ability of a fucking cashew.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you're giving them a lot of credit for this story, and I think it might just be them overlooking things.
Well, I mean, like, you can tell the guys that like manage the terminals, because there's like one guy at Bethesda that just like manages terminals and that's his entire job. But like you can tell that he tried to put in some story there, and they just kind of ignored
Just like the dude with the teddy bears.
Yeah.
The one guy whose job was to like go create scenes, so he just ran in and put teddy bears playing chess, stabbing each other, taking
Yeah.
shits. That guy's my hero.
It's amazing.
I'm putting like an homage. I'm putting teddy bear scenes in anything I do. There's just gonna be teddy bears doing shit. Like fuck it.
I promised somebody on Reddit back before I started modding, like before I even tried to start modding, that I would put as an Easter egg in one of my mods a guy that had drowned in duct tape, and I'm holding to that. I'm gonna do it. I'll just hide it in one of my weapon mods. Actually, I'm making a big mod now that just shoves together all my weapon mods with a bunch of uniques, so I'll probably just put it in that.
That's kind of what I'm doing for the NVIDIA contest too. I'm kind of just like combining a ton of my different mod ideas and shit, because it's like, why not?
When does that end? When's the due date?
July. You've got till July 3rd, I think.
I'm fine.
It's like a month and a half.
Yeah.
I'd say just submit it to the completely wrong category too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a child porn category on Bethesda.net, and I'll just put it there, and they won't delete it, so it'll be the only thing there.
Hey, there's one on Nexus. It's called Skyrim Hot Files. I'll never let this one go, Robin. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, I actually have to wrap this one up pretty soon. So, any closing words? Like, what do you want to? I don't know. Whatever the fuck you want to say, go for it. It's like putting you on the spot. You're like, I don't know. Fuck you all.
I don't care what anybody says. Axe is spelled with an E on the end.
Wait.
What? South America spells axe without an E.
Really?
Yeah, it's South U.S.
Have you actually had idiots bitch about that on your page?
Mm-hmm. Go look it up on Google right now. If you look up axe with an E, it'll autocorrect it to AX, and that's the definition. Just do it right now.
It's like aluminium.
Yeah. Well, there's a story behind that. With this, it's just like American changing words because they're stupid.
No, it's because we can.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's America.
Because you're stupid and you can.
Stupid, we can, and we have all the money. And people, well, not really. China has all the money. They can change the words now. All right, that's gonna be about it. I will. Kill the recording. Fuck it. Bye, everybody. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes.